Another example of an exponential function is f of x equals 1/2 to the power of x minus 2. Now, if you notice in this particular example, my base is less than 1, so it's going to be an exponential decay. And as you can see, the graph is going down from left to right. My domain is always, always, always negative infinity to positive infinity for exponential functions. Now my range, in case you forgot the cheer, starting from the bottom to the top, that's where it starts and where it stops. So the bottom of my graph is this asymptote where the dotted line, the blue dotted line is, and it's at y equals -2. And the top part of my graph goes all the way up to infinity. So my range is going to be from -2 to infinity. All right, my x-intercept, looking on the x-axis, I see it crosses right here at -1. So my x-intercept is going to be -1, 0. My y-intercept, looking at my y-axis, I see that it crosses at this point right here. So my order pair is going to be 0, -1. Now for my end behavior, on the left side of my graph, where my x is always going to be approaching -infinity, I can see that my arrow's pointing up over here on the left side. So it's going all the way to positive infinity. My f of x is always approaching positive infinity on the left side. All right, now looking on the right side of my graph where my x is approaching positive infinity, my arrow over here on the right side is getting closer and closer to my asymptote, and my asymptote is at -2. So my f of x will approach -2. All right, now let's look at a logarithmic function for the domain. You remember, you're looking from left to right. So on the far left of my graph, I have an asymptote at x equals -2. And on the far right of my graph, I have an arrow pointing over here to positive infinity. So my domain is going to go from -2 to positive infinity. And remember, from logarithmic functions, your range is always, always, always -infinity to positive infinity. For my x-intercept, let me look on my x-axis. I see it crosses at this point right here. And that point is -1, 0. My y-intercept, looking at my y-axis, crosses at the point right here, which is 0, -1. Now for my end behavior, as x is approaching, my asymptote is on the left side, so as it's getting closer and closer to my vertical asymptote at -2, the arrow over here is pointing up. So that means my f of x is approaching positive infinity. Now on the right side of my graph, my x's are all going to be positive numbers, so it's going to approach positive infinity. And as you can see, the arrow is going down and down and down and down, so my f of x is going to be approaching -infinity. And that